Are you in tune with your environment or are you not in tune with your? So if you're in tune with your environment, you are going to be seeing these opportunities and recognizing them when no one else will.
Yes.
And only then you can actually thrive and grow and always break through that next ceiling. Because when you look back, when I started here, 2004, I came from former Yugoslavia, and no one wanted to hire me. I could not get a job because English was not my first language. I did not have a degree from United States. I couldn't even get a job at a convenience store.
First of all, what do you do for my cameras?
Okay, for your camera. So what I do, I run a real estate company, a staging company, and I'm an also investor into commercial properties and multifamilies. So there is multiple things that are happening, and I am sort of an entrepreneur in heart. And it's always been like, hey, what's the next game? What can we do? Like creating the freedom, creating the passive
You
income.
don't settle. You don't settle. You don't just say, okay, I'm going to be an agent. I'm good. You just.
No, and you know what? Yeah, and that's the thing. You know, I think a lot of people get comfortable with that one thing, and they stop looking for opportunities from that one thing. So, and what I'm saying by opportunities, I'm not saying, hey, changing things. I'm saying, how are you leveraging your current position, your current environment to create other opportunities? And sometimes it's not even about creating them as much as recognizing them,
Seeing them, yeah.
right? So, are you in tune with your environment or are you not in tune with your? So if you're in tune with your environment, you are going to be seeing these opportunities and recognizing them when no one else will.
Yes.
And only then you can actually thrive and grow and always break through that next ceiling. Because when you look back, when I started here, 2004, I came from former Yugoslavia, and no one wanted to hire me. I could not get a job because English was not my first language. I did not have a degree from United States. I couldn't even get a job at a convenience store or a chain brands that are selling, clothes or, and I'm like, what do I do? And I got a job in sales at a dealership, and I didn't even know what I was selling when I applied on monster.com. So I was doing sales for them for several years, and then I'm like, okay, well, I'm doing really great here. I'm always top 3 out of 50 something people. Like, what's the next thing I can do? And you just gotta leverage people you're with and opportunities and moments. Sometimes these opportunities come for 1 second, and if you don't speak up, it's gone.
Yeah.
So recognizing opportunities and speaking up for what you want will change your life.
So you're at the car dealership.
Yes.
What was that moment for you? What was that opportunity that presented itself that you were like, yes?
Pain. Pain will let you see things. Pain will push you to think further and more than you ever thought you could. And comfort is the worst enemy, right?
Yes.
When the comfort becomes painful, then you are like, what do? I can't take this anymore. When you pushed against the wall, I was working 15-hour days every day. Every day. I was putting about 74 hours a week sometimes.
I believe it. Car salesman.
I mean, it was
Car
just,
salesman?
and it was just like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
I'm a mother. I have a daughter, a single mom at a time. I have a daughter. And then I just started talking to people and I said, just put me in front of someone who understands that I don't need the training. I'm just going to go do the work. And through relationships that I've created in that environment, I was able to make a next jump, and started working for a new builder and new developer. And when I went for interview for that particular job, I remember vice president of the company interviewed me. He's like, hey, we have a 6 months training. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm a single mom. I got to pay my mortgage. I have a car payment. I have a daughter.
Put me out on the floor.
I'm like, I have her piano lessons, her activities.
Yeah.
How am I going to survive? I said, I don't need the training. I said, I just need, can you give me 30 days and put me on the floor? I'm just going to sell, and I promise you I will be your best.
Yeah.
And he's like, can you sell in this environment and that? And he's like, I can sell anything to anybody. Just give me the opportunity.
Where'd you get this confidence?
I think confidence came from my background, I would say. My mom raised 3 of us after war on her own.
Okay.
She worked all the time. We lived in a 1-bedroom apartment in Belgrade at the time after when the war started in 1992 in Bosnia. And I just saw my mom just fighting every day. And I think that was the biggest inspiration for me, just
Her back was against the wall and she fought like
she
hell.
had to do what she had to do. My brother was 3 years at a time, and I was 13. My sister was 14. And she just pushed through every day. And she was just like, okay, let me just make it through today. Just make it through today. And just seeing her, and at the same time balancing the health of her children, 3 of us, which, we are our best friends right now. My siblings, we're best friends. And maintaining that healthy family environment while she was working all the time. She'd get up 4 a.m. She would cook a meal every day. She would work and come home at 7, 8 p.m. She would make us a dinner, and just she would do it every day. And this is a woman that didn't have any opportunities, not where I come from.
Yeah.
So that's a big part of the grit that I have in me and fight. And also, I had no choice. You know what they say, desperation is biggest motivation?
Yeah.
I had no choice.
Yeah.
So I went back to the new builder. And I'm like, hey, just put me on the floor. And sure he did. He saw something in me, and I will never forget it. His name was Mike. I'm not sure if I should disclose last name, but he was one of my greatest mentors.
Yeah.
And first year I was national or metropolitan rookie of the year out of, I don't know how many builders and how many salespeople. I won that gala award for rookie of the year. And I was like, wow. When they called my name and I was on the stage, I was like, I could not believe it.
Could you not believe it, or were you like, I knew?
I know how hungry I was to make it.
The gratitude probably was overwhelming.
But I think the gratitude was, I just couldn't believe it. I'm like, I made it.
Yeah.
I actually made it. And there was thousands of people sitting, it was, what was the hotel somewhere in DC? We were in one of the conference centers, and it was massive. There was a lot of people, over 1,000 people, big round table, white, it was gala,
Yeah.
And I was the one pulled on a stage to be given the award in front of all these people. And then I was like, wow, I actually am capable of this. This was a moment where I realized if I did this, I could do anything.
Yeah.
It was like somebody just took these blinds off my eyes. Or like I was
what was behind the curtain.
It's like, I'm like, and I think this is where the snowball just started rolling. It was a snowball effect, right?
Yeah.
And that was a huge confidence booster.
I'm sure.
So, yeah.
So your family, are they here in the U.S.?
My family's not here.
Okay.
So I'm the only one here. Yeah.
Okay. I hope you took video of that and sent it to them.
I did. I think I did.
Okay,
Pictures.
good.
There were pictures everywhere. I think it was like a beginning of Facebook too.
Yeah.
So it was easy to market it.
Nice.
But yeah,
Send it all.
Of course, my mom was so proud, and yeah.
That's beautiful. That's so amazing. I'm so excited to hear that story. Okay, so you started off in terms of you killed it on the sales floor for the new home building
developer.
Mm. What came after that?
After that, what came is I remember one day I had a contract was given to me every year as a new reps for sales reps for the builders. You have to resign or renew your contract, and we had a certain percentage we are compensated for the work we do, and people just sign it. It's normal, and then you move on to next year. It was not like a typical W-2 employee, right? So you have to sign this independent contract. So I just looked at my contract. They reduced my commission. And I was the only one who had the reduction. I reached out to my superiors. I'm like, why? He's like, well, we were calculating.
We're paying you too much. You're doing too well.
Well, we're projecting you're gonna do this much. You're gonna make too much money, and we have to average it. And that was it for me.
Yeah.
So I was Rookie of the Year. I'm your best salesperson here, and you're going to punish me.
Yeah.
So, and to me, you shouldn't be punished for good work.
Correct.
If you do a good job, this is why you're in sales. Yeah. If you're in sales, sky's the limit.
Correct.
I shouldn't be penalized. I should be rewarded in my mind because it's kind of natural, right?
Yeah.
So I explored other options. I interviewed, and I was looking into becoming my own real estate agent, becoming my own real estate CEO. And in May, when my buildings closed with a new builder, that day when my check cleared, I went and shook a hand with my vice president and said, thank you for the opportunity. I'll stay here for a couple of weeks to train a new person, but I'm ready to go. And this was end of 2015. I took my license, and since then, it's been just an incredible thing.
What was his reaction? Sorry, I'm like invested in
the
story
reaction
now.
here, the reaction was priceless. So when I went back and said that, they kind of jumped through the hoops to keep me. And they said they're going to offer me my old commission and all this other benefits. And would you please consider staying? And so my mother gave me the best advice. Big decisions in life, you should always sleep on and then make a decision next day. Even though I felt I knew what I wanted and I knew the answer at that point, I'm like, let me take my mother's advice and sleep on it.
Yeah.
You wake up with a fresh mind, you think clearer, and then you're like, okay, let's go and deal with the problem, deal with the issue. And what he didn't know, my vice president at the time, is that through this time, from when I was given that new contract, which was January through May, I have built something in my mind that nothing or no paycheck could compete. And so in my mind, after I've interviewed and talked to so many, successful entrepreneurs, real estate owners and companies and so on, I knew I was going to become a multimillionaire.
Yeah.
And so when he came after 5 months to me to tell me, hey, here's your commission back, and you can do this, and we're going to do this for you, that could not ever touch what I've created and what I've projected on myself and my ambitions. Who am I going to become if I just have enough stomach and guts to give myself that next opportunity and try?
Yeah.
And when I woke up the next morning, I had that stomach feeling like, if I go back, I will be so disappointed in myself. It wasn't about just disappointment, but it was also acknowledging that I'm not worthy. You have these internal conversations, internal enlightenments, and internal recognitions of who you are, what are you made of, what do you want to be, what do you stand for? Like, your values are tested in these decisions at these crossroads, right? Yeah. And so the next day, I said I would call, and I was dragging that entire day. I took my family to DC and my daughter to museums, and it was 4 p.m. I'm like, I need to call back.
Yeah.
And I knew the answer, but I just, so I called back and I said, thank you for the opportunity. I think I'm ready to move forward. He didn't like it, but, we parted in a good terms, and, and here I am today.
That is an amazing story. Have you told that story before?
I think one time in certain shape or form I did.
You have so much like passion behind it. It almost sounded like you've told the story so many times. So I'm so
Yeah, no, I
excited to
did
have heard
actually. I
it.
think there was one time I was sharing it with my KW office, and we talked about it, but
That's
I don't know
beautiful.
what details and stuff. But yeah,
That's amazing. Okay. So now you're an agent, and now you're building your empire.
yes.
How are you how does somebody we're talking about, you have to be able to see the opportunities. You have to be able to see, period, what's in front of you. Because most people don't. They have all these opportunities in front of them, but they just don't recognize them, like you said. How do you start training your mind to be able to recognize opportunities when they're presented in front of you?
Training your mind. I don't know if it's just about that. I think it's multiple things. Training your mind. First of all, you have to invest in yourself and self-improvement. I'm a big believer of self-improvement books. I love them. I'm on Audible all the time. Headway. You just start listening to these amazing people and amazing stories, and then you, at some point, when you read and listen to all these books and all the podcasts, amazing podcasts that you learn from these people, and then you realize that these people are just like you.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, hold on a second. Like something just sinks in, and you kind of find yourself in that person, and it may be not 100 of the podcasts you've listened or books you read. Maybe that's 101 one that you listened, and that 101 one that you just heard, you found that person who actually had the message just for you. You feel like that message was just sent for you, and you're like, holy moly, this person just told everything I need to. It described me where I'm at today, but it also showed me that this can be done. No matter who you are, no matter where you come from, no matter what belief system was installed with you as you were a little child, no matter where you are in life, you can actually make it. But so I think the first step would be invest in yourself, in your mind empowerment. And the only way to really give yourself opportunity to get that mind empowerment is be in the right circle. Be in the right circle and spend time. You take 30 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day. Listen to something that will actually make you pause. Because I promise you, there will be one message in that book that is meant for you, and it will make all the difference in your life. Because this is what happened to me. I remember on the plane, I was reading Grant Cardone's 10x. I was flying to Europe to see my family. And, I've been reading and reading and reading and reading. And there's one part in his book that says, when you have your goals and then your annual goals, and at the end of the year you see you're failing your goals, most people adjust those goals to the goals they have achieved so they seem reasonable. But he said that's a wrong method, that's wrong philosophy. What you need to do, you have to 10x your goals to achieve what you really originally thought you can, instead of adjusting them to where you are, because that's really coming from your financial thermometer, or whatever thermometer you had, personal, emotional, whatever the thermometer you had originally. Yeah. But 10xing your goals is gonna prompt you to be where you originally wanted to be. And so to me, that was like, that's exactly what I've been doing in the last 3-4 years. Why am I stuck at this particular goal and achievement every year? Because I haven't been really 10xing my goals. So when I took that one thing and implemented it in my business, I saw results right away. My business has been doubling and tripling in the last 5 years, like even last year in real estate, with all the changes that we had, interest rates and, biosphere into buying and committing to these large payments, especially coming from 2.5, 3% interest rate, you're literally doubling your payment. I would get calls from team leaders, agents. Viktorija, we're struggling. We're struggling, Viktorija, where our business went up. And I'm like, yeah, I know it's hard. It's like, you don't want to say, but
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? When it's slow, you 10x your effort.
Yeah.
And, and just, you got to stop listening to the noise because there's too much noise out there, right?
That's why people like Grant Cardone and the other leaders, the business leaders, that's why they're so popular, is because they're saying the stuff that nobody else wants to say or hear, because we all want to stay comfortable. And we want to say, like what you said, lower
your expectations.
yeah,
Lower your
be
expectations.
more reasonable. That's a crazy goal. That's kind of what people will tell you, is don't be so hard on yourself. Like, relax a little bit, take a vacation. When people like Grant Cardone and like yourself say, like, okay, no, it just means you need to 10x your goals. That way you'll 10x your efforts. And then where you land will be in a place where you're very happy.
Agreed.
So in terms of, okay, so what advice would you give, not just to real estate agents, but to business entrepreneurs? Because I know you talk to, you got a nice large circle.
Yeah.
What would you say to them in today's economic fund challenges? Besides 10x your goals.
Yes. Yeah, of course. We have a team meeting 3 times a week, and our team meeting was actually just about that. When things are changing, because when you think about market, when you think about any business, that goal is always changing, market is changing, industries are changing. It's fluid, and if you're not adapting yourself to it, you're gonna just dissolve. So today's meeting was about focus on what you do the best. Do not get distracted by what others are doing. Stay authentic to who you are. 10x your efforts, right? But stop listening to the noise. Stop listening to the distractions, because I'm telling you, the noise, and there's so much noise from outside. Oh, this is what's going to happen. This is how this should work. No. If you truly believe in your values, in your qualities, then stay authentic. Stay on that same path, because it's worked so far. Embrace the changes, but do not change your values. Do not change your vision.
Yeah.
And you have to remind yourself of your vision in changing markets every day, more than often, because how our psychological self kind of creates the opportunity if we believe. So in the changing environment like today, you have to stay focused, and you have to stare at your goal every day. And things will come to you, opportunities will come to you. And don't give in to what other people are saying, what other people are doing. Just being focused and being loyal to your goal and to your vision, and devoted to that vision 100% means that your vision will be devoted to you 100%.
You're intense. I love it. You have to be.
You have to be. And when you think about all the extraordinary achievements in life that were made but more of an extraordinary people. And you think, oh, that's not normal, that's really abnormal, that's unusual. When you think about it, really, all the people that achieve those unusual, abnormal, or eccentric things are the same kind of people.
Yes. I was going to say, and I'm going to add one piece of what you said, which is you were like, stay true to your values, stay true to your vision. I think also kind of like what you talked about listening to the podcast, reading the books. Also keep people in your circle that have bigger visions than you. That way you can say, oh, maybe I need to reach a little more. If you don't believe in yourself, a lot of times it might be your manager or your boss or your
environment
that will say these things that kind of dampen you a little bit. But if you see people like Viktorija saying like, no, I'm 10xing, I'm, people are like, oh, the market's so bad. It's like, it can be for some people, but there are ways of thriving. Just kind of with one last piece is marketing. People that listen to this, they're business owners, they're entrepreneurs. And that's the biggest thing that they always want to know is how do these successful business owners, what are they doing that's different in terms of the marketing? Because everybody thinks it's an easy button.
Yes, it's not an easy button. There's a system to it, and there's strategy to it. And number one, you have to define and master who your clients are.
It's not everybody who wants to buy a home?
No.
Or get a picture taken?
No.
No? Okay.
You have to, in any business, you have to define your clientele. Who is your client? Or who is the client that would align with you, your mission, and your vision?
Yeah.
And once you define that, then you have to define the way you're going to address them effectively. Now you're connecting because you're on the same wavelength, right?
Yeah.
But definition of who you want to work with and who can benefit from your services, defining that first and then finding a marketing and sending a clear message for that particular group is the only effective way. And obviously today through social media, there's so many amazing channels where you can really send a message. And this is where most people fail. They're just not active enough. Do I like it? No, I don't. It's my personal opinion. It can be draining. As a business, you're exposed to good and bad.
Yep.
You get both sides of it. But here's what I'll tell you. Attention brings clients. Attention brings money. So you have to create attention around your brand.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think that's
Which
the biggest
you're doing.
struggle. Thank you.
What you're doing.
It's a struggle though, like attention, because people are afraid of showing up. Number
Sure.
one, on video, they're afraid of being different. They don't want to be different. They want to fit in.
They're afraid of being rejected.
Rejected, yes.
They're afraid of being criticized.
Yes.
And you know what? If people are criticizing you, you're doing something different. And that's what people need to remember. And you know what? People don't like perfection. Be who you are. Be you. It's okay if you're not perfect. No one. Like when I started, I was doing the videos and I'm like, oh my gosh. But then I committed. I think this is a good tool. If anybody's trying to leverage social media, we do these videos. We want to post them. You're like, oh, it's not good. It's not good. So I made a rule for myself many years ago. I have 3 shots to make this video. I cannot make more than 3. One of 3 I will post.
Yeah, it's good.
So just do that,
I love that.
And you're eventually going to do it the right way. And so what if you stumble? You actually want to relate to these people. Everybody stumbles. Like we all make a mistake. So what? It's kind of cute,
I 100% agree. My rule is I don't look at the video.
Yeah.
I pay somebody to do my video for me and they will post it for me and I just never see it. And once it's already out there,
it's too late.
It's too late. Just don't say or do anything that's going to land me in jail. I'm good.
Yeah. I agree.
And then just to kind of wrap it up, what's a message that you would say to your future or potential clients? Like whether it's a value or whether it's something that you want them to know about you?
That's a great question. I didn't think about that one, but I would say this. If it feels right to you, you go for it. If it doesn't feel right, you don't. It's always a matter of like, oh, it's expensive or it's, oh, this is cheaper. Don't be blindsided. Don't be, what do they say? What is the saying? Penny rich, dollar foolish. What do they say?
I'm so bad with those sayings.
Yeah. Or like, don't be blinded. Make sure you see the forest from the tree.
Yeah.
So one thing that I think it's really important to recognize if you are thinking of selling, or you're working on your next real estate step, is understand there's a difference between cost of sale versus net, what you net at the end. Sometimes people get wrapped up about, oh, how much is going to cost me? And they don't know that if it costs less here, the net will be so much smaller.
Yeah.
What you invest in that proposition, you can 10x at the end. We see that over and over again. And this is why our company has white glove services, where we actually go and we stage. We own the staging company. We do everything with the contractors. We handle everything for our clients. It's literally white glove service.
Yeah.
We get the key, we get it done. You're looking at a home that looks like a model, and you're gonna have probably multiple offers. If not, you're gonna at least have that, asking price. And even if it's not asking price, we always push that price more, because the thing is that people make decision based on emotion, not on reasoning, right?
Yeah.
So if the emotional altitude is high when they enter into your home, that's where people are pulling checks and writing those checks.
Yeah.
If they come in, they feel, we lost them.
Yeah.
We lost them. You have one shot to make it successful. One shot. And that momentum is so small. So you have to create that momentum. And I say always, I want people coming into our listings, I want their heart to skip a beat, because if their heart is not skipping the beat, they're not pulling their checks. So you have to work with human psychology.
Yeah.
And this is called now neuromarketing, which is next level. And we can talk about that next time, which I'm so passionate about.
Say that again, the word?
Neuromarketing.
Neuromarketing.
Understanding how people make decisions when buying. How are we connecting to these people? We need to engage emotionally. We need to engage our senses. We need to engage visually, right?
Yeah.
Every memory trigger needs to be engaged. So when they leave our listing, they can see 10 others, but I'm the one they're going to remember.
Yeah.
And I'm the one they're going to talk about. They don't know why. I know why. It is my job to know why.
Yeah.
And this is why neuromarketing in sale is extremely important.
Sounds like that's what your clients get when they sign up with you.
Yeah, well, we work hard for sure.
Thank you so much for being on the podcast, taking time today and sharing your story. It was so amazing.
Thanks for having us. We appreciate you guys. You do amazing. We love your podcast too. It's amazing. So everybody just listen to the podcast. There's such great material here, so much to learn. And if you're stuck in a place, listen to the podcast.
There we go.
Get unstuck.
Straight from Viktorija. Thank you.